Hello, welcome back to PlayStation Access, where Rob and I are going to be talking about Yooka Laylee and the Impossible Lair.
Yes.
Which we got to see last week, Rob. You actually got to have a little bit of hands-on time with it.
I did get to play it, yes.
I'm not too jealous. But, no, I am. But we also got to speak to the developers and find out a little bit about what they're doing this time around. And, I mean, this video is called One Massive Change. I think that makes all the difference.
It's immediately apparent.
It's very apparent. You won't need us to tell you that it's a 2D game this time around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a 3D game, but from a 2D perspective.
Yes.
So the levels are kind of side-scrolling.
It's a classic. It feels like a classic 2D side-scrolling platformer now.
Yeah.
And as soon as I started playing it, as soon as I saw it, before I even played it, I instantly thought, it just makes loads of sense.
Yeah.
Just makes loads of sense. It looked great and it felt great to play. And it's just a visual language that is very familiar to people.
I think that's the main.
Feel right at home.
I think that's the main point. Yeah, I think first of all, I think it looks beautiful. Like the art, the way that they've, the sort of backgrounds and the parallaxing and all that kind of stuff looks fantastic, and it really suits the world of Yooka Laylee.
Yeah.
And obviously they've got all their different environments, kind of. The hot one, the cold one, the watery one.
Those classics.
All those kinds of things, and it works really well. I think, it's maybe kind of like a simpler. On the surface, like a simpler kind of proposition, in as much as you're going left and right and jumping and stuff like that. But actually, they've worked really hard. They were saying to bring the move set from Yooka Laylee into the game and figure out how that translates to a 2D game.
Yeah.
And then also like adding a whole bunch more moves. And one thing I thought was really cool is that they're saying that there are lots of combos, like move combos, that they're not going to sort of announce. They're not going to put hints in the game to tell you how to do them.
You've just got to try and
you've just got to figure it out.
Unlock them as well. And it also opens up this whole new branch of gameplay that speedrunners, I think, will love.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of finding the best route through the level and combining the rolls and the jumps.
Exactly.
To get through levels really quickly. And it's just incredibly satisfying when you chain together a bunch of rolls, break a few crates, pound a few enemies.
Yeah.
It's just, you get into that rhythm, you get into that zone where it just feels brilliant to play.
It's one of those games you can easily see, even if you haven't played the game before, when someone's doing well at it.
Yeah.
You can see it all flows together, it's all smooth. The second thing to talk about, I think, is that it's Yooka Laylee and the Impossible Lair.
Yes, very important.
And that is much more than just a name. I think this is super cool, actually. I really like this idea. And the idea is that there is an Impossible Lair, which is sort of the final level of the game. To beat the game, you have to complete the Impossible Lair.
Yes.
Which Capital B has, who's the bad guy from Yooka Laylee, and is back in this game. And you can attempt the Impossible Lair right from the start of the game. And in fact, at any point during the game, you can attempt the Impossible Lair. And if you beat it, you win the game. You've done it.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think that's great.
There are definitely going to be people doing it. Within day one, there's going to be someone who's done it.
Of course
all the way
there
to
will.
the end.
You're absolutely right.
Up online, YouTube, speedrun.
But that's the fun of it. I like that they give you that proposition. It's like, come on then, if you can do it, do it. And if you can, I mean, that's big bragging rights. If you can do the Impossible Lair, imagine being the first person to complete the Impossible Lair.
I did have a little go with straight off the bat, and I was told by the developers that the furthest anyone's got is like 4% of the way in.
Yeah.
I was like 4%, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I just didn't even get 1% of the way in. There's like a little boss right at the start you have to beat, and that beat me. So I didn't actually get into the Impossible Lair proper, I don't think.
No, I guess not. But why you wouldn't maybe want to attempt the Impossible Lair right away, or to make it easier, I should say, is if you complete the levels throughout the world, you're rescuing bees from the Royal Beetalion.
That's right.
There's a lot of amazing puns in the game. And
from
every
the Royal
bee,
Stingdom.
Yes, I know, I noticed that. And each bee that you rescue joins you in a bee team. And they act as kind of like a shield, don't they? It's like a one hit. So in the Impossible Lair, if you've completed 20 levels, then you'll have 20 bees with you, which can take a hit and you can move on. Without any bees, it's
one hit and you're dead.
Pretty much, yeah.
So you need those bees. You need them to sacrifice themselves for you.
Yes, you do. You really do. Apart from the 2D, I mean, we've talked a lot about this 2D action platforming, but there's an overworld, they're calling it, which, and they're keen to stress this is not like a map screen, because you'd look at it and you'd think, oh yeah, I get it, like a map screen.
Yeah.
You travel around and then you go into each level. It's not like that. It's a big part of the game itself, and it's got quests and it's got puzzles to solve and things like that.
And this is from a top-down perspective.
It is, yeah.
Stress.
So it's very obvious when you're playing it, and you still have your moves and things like that. You can still you move. For instance, we saw having to move around crates to unlock a different part of the map and using bombs to blow up walls and stuff like that. I think more exciting than that though is that is how it's related to the levels. So when you complete levels, you'll do things in those levels or learn skills in those levels, which will expand the overworld.
Yeah.
And in expanding the overworld, you'll find more levels. But also, you can do things in the overworld which will alter levels you've already explored.
This is cool.
And I think every level in the game has kind of an alternate. And an example they used was, I think, flooding. Like, there's a level that you can complete that you will then, back in the overworld, you'll do something that kind of like redirects a river or something, over the level that you've already completed. And you go back and the whole thing has been flooded. And you can play it like that. It's like a whole different take on the level you've already done.
That's cool.
I was talking to the level designer and being like, "Oh wow, how do you do that? That must be really hard." And he was like, "Yeah, it's just really hard."
It's just really hard.
But it's potentially sort of like twice the game there. And there is another bee for you to save once the level has been altered as well, which is
cool.
Which is very, very cool.
So who would be the better gamer? The person who's beaten all the levels in all their forms and got all the bees, or the person who's just gone straight into the Impossible Lair and done it with no bees?
Well, luckily, Rob, we don't have to decide. The internet will decide for us. But I think it's a good point. I do think that there's big bragging rights if you can just play the game and only do the Impossible Lair. Like, you don't see any of the rest of it. I think there's bragging rights for that.
There's got to be a trophy for it. We asked, didn't we, if there's going to be a trophy for doing the Impossible Lair with no bees. And they were, they didn't confirm, but they were they gave a knowing smile.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
But also, I think if you do that, you're missing out on loads of brilliant game. Because
it's just something to do, isn't it?
It is.
I'll just start a new game. I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Or you could do it straight away and then go and start again and do all the levels properly.
Yeah, true. Either way, quite a few big changes actually for Yooka Laylee and the Impossible Lair, although the biggest one, straight off the bat, 2D makes a big difference. Let us know in the comments below what you think about the change in direction for Yooka Laylee, whether it's looking appealing to you. Like this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything from the world of PlayStation.
For the players.